I'm Braxton Smith. I'm here with my friend Jake Bird. You there, bud?
Yeah, loud and clear.
All right, cool. I just wanted to take a moment to talk about this recent tragedy that happened over in Paris, the massacre that took place a couple days ago. Before I get too much into it, I want to, uh, like I said, I'm sending out my condolences here. I don't want anybody to take this the wrong way. I actually want to move forward from this, and I want to take a second look at it and look at ways that we can actually learn something from this and be proactive. Keep this ball rolling right here. Basically, as you know, what happened, several people, they eventually confirmed that it was not necessarily ISIS, but it was some people of terrorist descent, I believe they put it, went in and massacred by guns several hundred or a little over 100 people in a closed space. And been seeing it blow up all over the media, people changing, I mean, just rallying around France. And I think that's great that, you know, people are actually rallying around France and showing their support by changing their profile pictures to the French flag. That became readily available really quickly. But I did have some questions for, I don't know, just for you to think about. It's rhetorical, really, something to give a second thought to. But where were the flags when the Russian plane blew up the other day? The Russian, I'm sure you all heard about the Russian plane that exploded and killed over 200 people, men, women, and children. And where was the support? You know, you see the French flags all over the world, you know, lit up on all the buildings. I'm seeing like some of the most renowned monuments across the world being lit up with the French flag. And if I'm not mistaken, you know, Russia's rocking the same colors on their flag. So apparently it's not like they're unable to do this. So where was the support for them? Secondly, you know, you had massacres. You had a massacre in China as well. You had a guy that went in on a train and knifed over 100 people back in, was it 2014, a couple of years ago? You hear nothing about it. It gets swept under the rug. You know, I just wanted to take a moment to just point something out here. It almost seems like the humanity is being stripped from certain people and being added to others. And I just want to take a moment just to encourage the people to look at the humanity in everyone. And something that concerns me about this is what they might be doing, or what I see happening here. It almost seems like they're using this as an event or as a reason right now to invade Syria, because the thing I heard most with all the reports was that the men were screaming, not Aloha snack bar. They weren't yelling any of the usual stuff they normally would call out, the rallying battle cries that you would hear in a normal terrorist attack. They yelled, "This is for Syria," according to news reports. And so now I'm seeing this huge flow of people just seeming like they want to go to war. They want to kill somebody. They want to make somebody pay for this. And I want to encourage people, you know, that all life is precious. And for us to just say, let's go in and indiscriminately slaughter people makes us no better than the people that attacked the Parisians the other day. You know, we have this war going on right now. We're attacking ISIS, and we blew up a hospital in Syria with a drone, men, women, and children, killed them, several hundred people indiscriminately. And, you know, again, where you don't ever hear anything about that, it gets swept under the rug. So I just want the people more than anything to take from this, don't buy into this war drums that's going on here. Like, take a moment to step back, give this a second thought, rid the emotions from your mind, and think about what's really going on here. And to me, as I said, it just sounds like we're being lulled into the war drums of going into Syria. And if Russia gives any pushback, well, they're just getting in the way, and they're going to have to suffer as well. So, all right, that's all I had for that rant. Jake, do you want to throw in on that?
The focus back on to dealing with the problem. Obviously, I think most people can agree war should be a last resort. They might disagree on what makes war necessary, but if there's this whole focus onto this war path, this war effort, How might you encourage somebody to expand that, to expand their views with the humanity? What are some of the things that have helped you to do it over time?
I don't know. I don't know how you can like try and train people into seeing things a certain way, but I mean, it's just like just understanding, for example, that just know that every time that you go to do something like, for example, I like to have a drink every once in a while, and you got to understand that these people are the same way. You know, every one of these people have a heartbeat. Every one of these people draw breath. They have a family they want to go home to. They have a life they want to live. These people over in these other countries, these Syrians, again, they aren't all, actually, most of them aren't even terrorists. They don't like ISIS either. They're actually trying to push them out right now. They're, in all reality, on our side, and they're people just like you and me, and trying to protect their way of life right now. And then they got a few assholes that want to screw that up and then piss us off. And I think a big thing is just keeping communications, keeping the people just understand that, you know, these are people and we got to treat them as such.
Yeah, it's really easy during emotional turmoil to try to just simplify and demonize a certain group just to deal with those feelings, and that's always something we need to watch for.
Right. And, you know, something else I've been seeing on the mainstream media, you know, a lot of attacks back and forth. And I don't believe this is this, you know, like I said at the beginning, I wanted to be solution oriented about this. Like, where do we go from here? And I myself, I admit I bought into it a little bit. I had some dark humor about it. But you know, you also saw Donald Trump, for example. He was saying, isn't it interesting that the tragedy in Paris took place in one of the toughest gun controls countries in the world? Well, kind of, you know, maybe the timing is a little off on that, but, you know, look at it this way. He is trying to be solution oriented here. He's trying to say, how do we stop this from happening again? And, you know, you have people attacking him for it. You know, I ended up, you know, I was saying, you know, there's plenty of other people that have done that before. For example, I mean, you got Salon right now saying, you know, hopefully, real terror unfolds in Paris. Perhaps this will convince the right to tone down their incessant violent rhetoric. You know, you got a lot of people trying to turn this tragedy into some kind of gains. And if you're trying to push your own political game, you're a real sociopath, I think. But if you're trying to actually be solution oriented and say, how do we stop this from happening again? First of all, if you want to stop this from happening again, gun control is definitely, granted, it is a bad idea. Given arming the people and letting them defend themselves, that is great. But I'll do you one better would be if you just, you know, I don't know, stop blowing up all these countries and displacing all these people, pissed off people, mind you. It's, you know, we were having the discussion earlier and I was saying it was just like a kid shooting a hornet's nest with a BB gun or a paintball gun, and the hornets come swarming out at him, and he's getting all pissed off at the bees and swatting at him. And it's like, what do you expect? I mean, they're defending, or they're fighting back against you. And so now you reap what you sow. You're experiencing the consequences of your actions. So I think what we need to do is take a step back, look at the big picture, understand that we're, you know, when we're over here meddling in these other countries, this is the kind of stuff you can expect. Do you want to add on to that at all?
Not too much. I mean, but let's see.
And it's like you said, this isn't something that's going to stop anytime soon. I mean, we've been ruining lives for decades now, meddling in the affairs in the Middle East, and you know, these people are going to live for a long time after that and not forget what we have done to them. Like, we destroyed families. We've dismembered them. I mean, just think about some of the tragic events that have happened to us. You have families that have been destroyed just by troops dying over in Iraq. But you got to think, you know, there's people dying on their side too. And you got to think, you know, they come home to their families and how they feel about it. And what are they going to do about it? They might go and shoot up a rock concert over in Paris. Because remember, we did have involvement. The way they look at it, that was their attack against America. And that's just the beginning. There is going to be more. But again, you can stop it right now stop any more of it, like I should say, an increase of it from happening by cutting back on the wars that happen over in the Middle East rather. Cut back on the wars happening there, and then from there try and handle the consequences, mitigate as much as possible, and then eventually, hopefully, we can all have peace. But understand that they aren't attacking us because we're free. I've heard that one. That they aren't pissed off because we're free. They're pissed off because we're raining freedom on them from the skies. So I don't know. I feel like I'm beating a dead horse. Do you have anything you want to add on to that?
Yeah, I mean, well, the best thing we can do is just try to focus on defense, focus on healing, and try to make sure that whenever some reasonable voice comes up there, try to give them the peaceful support that they need. If it's trade, let's trade. I mean, if they are reasonable, if they are sounding like they are not evil, as most people try to portray them to be, some devil in the distance, why not? What could we lose from that besides another possible trade partner?
Right. Well, I guess that's about all we have to say. Thanks for tuning in, and Paris, best wishes. Hope for a quick recovery, and you have me, and I'm sure Jake and the rest of America's full support. Cheers.
Cheers.